Hey, YouTubers. I did a flat Earth experiment after having had some discussions with guys on YouTube. There are some claims to counter the ships that will go down first on the Earth, and then they use this to explain why it should go hill down on a flat Earth. So the claim of the flat Earth is hulls of ships go down first because of perspective and not because of curvature. In Eric Dubai's book 200 Proofs the Earth is Flat, number 138, he explains this, and he basically says that the fact of the matter is that the law of perspective of plane surfaces dictates and necessitates the exact same occurrence. For example, a girl wearing a dress walking away toward the horizon will appear to sink into the earth the farther away she walks. Yeah, and her feet will disappear from view at half a mile distance. It will look like her dress touches the ground. A much older book, The 100 Proofs the Earth is Not a Globe by William Carpenter, has proof 36. He basically says that the ground appears to rise up until at that distance it seems on a level with the eye line or line of sight, and consequently objects not higher than we stand, say 6 feet, and which are at that distance 3 miles have reached the vanishing point and are beyond the sphere of unaided vision. And some people use this and they say, well, if you then go very far down, then even small objects will disappear. Now, that is not how perspective works. We'll say it again. There is a horizon that is your eye level. I agree with that. It is a line, and a line has no height. And there is a line of convergence and also has no height. A line is a line. It only has a length and no width. And the rule is simple. As long as something is above the horizon, it will stay above the horizon however far away it is, and if it is below your eye level, then it will stay below the eye level. So in other words, if I have a little miniature ship and it is below eye level, it will stay below eye level, and if I'm lying flat on the ground and it is above eye level, it will stay above eye level. It will simply not disappear. The flat Earth claim is therefore hulls of ships go down first because of perspective and not because of curvature. Now, I basically showed already that that won't happen. Because of the statement made by the gentleman is consequently objects no higher than we stand have reached a vanishing point, whatever that may be. Normally the vanishing point is simply the horizon, and are beyond the sphere of unaided vision. The FA reasoning then is, and we will see that in one of the videos, is when you go very low, that vanishing point gets very close, and we see even the smallest of objects disappear from unaided vision. My claim is hulls of ships go down because of the curvature, and anything on a flat surface remains visible independent of the distance or size. The only exception is when the distance is so large that the object gets smaller than the resolution of my eyes or the resolution of a camera. My claim is as long as there is a line of sight, it cannot disappear. And Dubai's claim of the girl in the dress is therefore, in my opinion, bollocks. If she's half a mile away and he is standing upright, he will see all of her. Now, the flat Earth evidence given is, I think, still none. Just deliberately faked videos like this one. I mentioned that a miniature ship. I don't know why he put this vase of water in front of it. And then he says, now I take some distance, and look, there behind a horizon, and it's not a curvature because his counter was flat. No, you just dropped the camera. This is no proof at all. So, fraud alert, guys. Now, my evidence is that instead of a 1-inch high ship and a distance of 2 meters, let's take half a corn of rice and make the distance 7 meters. And let's see what happens. There it is. Measuring device, half corn of rice, which is like 2 or 3 millimeters. Sugar cube, and I needed this in order for the camera to focus when I took the picture. Camera is 7 meters away, and you already can see here the picture that I'm going to show to you now. And we're looking over the floor, 7 meters, and what do we see there? Wow, our half grain of rice. And you even see the smallest of dust particles that are like less than half a millimeter, and they're all visible. So, next. There are some videos on roads. Phuket Word is sometimes wondering why he thinks things disappear, why there is this sort of optical illusion of a bump happening. And actually in this video he already proves it partly by going up with the camera, and then you basically can see that this road is not completely flat. If it was completely flat, it would look different. There is simply a little dip in there. It doesn't need to be much, like 20 centimeters here, or so. I call this not fraud. This is just a misfortune that a telelens enhances such a small difference in height very much. So if you look at some parts of that video, you basically see that the horizon remains there. There is this car, and somehow in the middle it drops like 30, maybe 40 centimeters max, but then it looks as if this bump is there. And here, when he's a bit higher up, you can basically see that the dip is there. And we will show also that if you have a better flat road, that this doesn't happen. So I went out to look for a flat piece of road, and I found it nearby. I'm going to position the camera there. We're going to look at some trees that are there. This is what it looks like with the unaided eye, so not zooming in. There are three trees. Let's crop this and then enhance it a bit, enlarge it, and those are the trees we are going to look at. But now we look standing up and we zoom in and just look at the bottom of this tree, and now we put the camera on the ground and we're still at the bottom of that tree, and that's a distance of over 400 meters, and nothing happens in between, although this road is also not entirely flat, as you can see. In the video I even made it a bit more challenging. I went a bit farther, so I started those trees, and then I have here a piece of road which is 789 meters long. And what we will be observing are a few things. In the first video we will see it start with the bicyclist that is approximately here, doing like 500 meters coming toward me. You can time it, and you will see that he's doing like 33 kilometers per hour. Then we will see a car drive there and turn on the road, and that is what you see here. Interesting, there is some refraction. You always have that on a nice day. But it is very limited. That's why I took this picture of this measuring device next to the wheel. So the rim of the wheel is basically what we see there, and that is 7.5, that's this part, plus like 3/4. It's like 10 centimeters high. And here is the lady of Mr. Dubai. We will talk about it later. And here is the camera. It's next to the road. So I'm actually, there is a crossroad here. So I will be actually looking over the tarmac. And I'm very close, like 5 centimeters max, because this curves. Yeah, and that means when we look in that direction, we have that little bit of curve here. You will really be looking as low as we can get over the road. And the funny thing is, when that car turns and comes back and it is almost hitting the camera, and you look under the car, you will see a jogging man coming around this corner. So at that distance you will see the guy almost completely. Now, according to the curve calculations, if the camera is like 5 centimeters high, the curvature should be here. So we are actually now looking at what should be a part without curvature, and which is interesting because it basically shows if something is flat, and the lower you get, you can still look all the way to the end. So Mr. Dubai's story about the girl and the dress disappearing, that simply means that at one point, half a mile away, the car should lose about that part of it. And you already see here it won't, and also not in the video. At not any given moment, the wheels will disappear. There is only somewhere halfway the part where the car seems to dip a little bit, like 15 centimeters, because that is the ground clearance. And I was wondering, well, would this then be part of the optical illusion? So I went back the other day when preparing this video, and I put the camera higher so that that location of a possible optical illusion should change in the distance it has, because that is what, if you would believe the guy from 1885, would happen. But you will see in the video that exactly at the same point another car will also dip a little bit and then pop up completely. It's just the road there is not. So just like 15 centimeters on a stretch of 100 meters, which is 0.1% dip, it's nothing. Now, with regard to the video of the grain of rice, I will start with normal view as well, zoom in, and then try to put the camera on the ground while keeping the thing in the middle of the lens. And that, well, it's a bit jumpy because it was very difficult to keep looking in the screen of the camera while putting it on the ground. But once it is on the ground, you will see we zoom in and we see the grain of rice from 7 meters distance. So the camera will be there. Let's have a look. So those were the videos. So far in other videos I already showed that there is a curve, so we were looking at things going over the curve. I showed it with the bridge video, and in another video I showed these pictures. This time we wanted to show that as long as you're not yet at the curve, nothing will happen. Everything will remain completely visible. And where this picture was taken at 200 meters, this was at 650 meters. So if this is true, then this would be impossible. If Dubai's story of taking a distance and slowly things sinking because of perspective, then this would not be possible. On the other hand, if the real perspective is that anything above the horizon will remain visible, which you see here, then the conclusion on this side is that this was not flat. And this guy would have not been visible this way, up to his shoe, basically there. And here, well, this is clearly a manipulation. 2.5 centimeters high object at 2 meters. Now this was 2 millimeters at 7 meters. So if this was true, that would not be possible. And if this is true, you see it, this is fraud. So again, here the same would apply. Things going away from this very low point of view would disappear, as shown here by Dubai. And he says the fact of the matter is that the law of perspectives, and that dictates that, but it's not true. He doesn't understand the law of perspective. If you are standing here and you're looking in that direction, you should see the legs of the girl. There's not something popping up here. No, there's a point here to where the curve starts, and then when it goes over the curve, things will disappear. And there is no gradual disappearance. You've seen that clearly in the video with the cars. They remain, even at 780 meters, you can still look underneath the car. So this is not the case. And the story here with line of sight, and when you go very low, the vanishing point comes very clear, is basically debunked with the grain of rice pictures I've shown. It doesn't mean that all the videos you see are manipulated. I don't think so, but it is very, very difficult to find a piece of road that is over half a mile or a mile completely flat. Even in my case, I have somewhere where it dips like 10 centimeters somewhere. So always look for that. Yeah, there is a good reason why something disappears when you should see it according to the real law of perspective, and that is as long as it is in front of the horizon. Even if it is lower than yourself, then you always should see it on a perfect flat, yeah, and not a bumpy road or whatever, but on a perfect flat, then that will be the case. So see the lies, detect the fallacies, the wrong arguments, and don't be afraid of the globe, guys. Come on, you live on it. Comments are welcome, but stay on topic, please. Otherwise, I will simply block it, because I don't want all the shit anymore. But any discussion on topic is welcome. Thank you very much.